great results against Fury. The last time these two teams played, it was back in October in the Operation League last year. Champion won 8-7. The time before that, Fury won. And then the 2 times before that, Champion won. So we have this extremely rigorous history between the two teams, constantly fighting. One team gets the win, and Champion gets revenge. Fury gets it back again. Who's it going to be this time?
Look, yeah, sort of almost part of me wants to say that it is going to be Champion winning out on this one, partially because they have that sort of chip on their shoulder after the previous game against Variant X. But then they also, well, like you highlighted before, they have had experience playing against Fury during the Operation League, which technically is still not the tier 1 sort of competition, where so you could partially chalk the a few of the failures of Fury down to the fact that they just didn't fully take it seriously. But even then, it's a very dubious sort of well, case. So in the meanwhile, ban phase being Thatcher, Osa, Valkyrie. The only difference being that Osa has been sort of becoming a much more frequent pick for the ban phase, which is almost amusing to me.
Yeah, well, a lot of information that you can get with that. The Osa seems the strange one to me, the misnomer. But the Hibana has slipped through, and on Clubhouse, Hibana is super powerful. So while we do have the Thatcher gone, there's still a lot of hard breach available, Maverick as well. Even the Kaid is available for the defense. The Solus, an operator we've seen banned a ton, the Izami. So lots of ingredients still left in. And I actually think that's probably going to favor the defense, particularly that Izami, right? If we're going to the Cache CCTV bomb site, she's so good for holding on to Garage. Oh, yeah. And in the basement, which is where we are this round, I wonder how many drones Labyrinth is going to be able to find with that Solus.
I would imagine that, well, finding all of those drones will be the key role right now in the prep phase. And yeah, well, I9's drone is about to be exterminated very promptly. But you are very much correct. Yeah, look, the ban phase is definitely a little bit confusing is probably the best way to really describe this, remembering, yeah, the old times of very frequent bans as well, mind you, the Hibana Maverick, Kaid, and then maybe something across the lines of either Mira or basically anything else for sort of open for interpretation. But look, I mean, we've seen, even looking back at South Asia as well, Dev, the KB has seen one of the highest ban rates throughout the whole time of the South Asia. SEA currently sports, interestingly enough, also 36% ban rate for the KB. So it's definitely been a bit of a sort of a novelty is probably the best way to really describe this ban phase for this stage.
Yeah, it's what's really exciting about the current meta that we're in. There's just so many tools available, so many meta operators. You don't have to use XYZ. You're not tunneled into playing a certain playstyle. You can get aggressive if you want, and that's what Zoshav is going to do. I9, the Thermite going down early. That's not what you like to see. Fortunately, Fury do have a lot of hard breach available in the Ace and 4 tin can openers between Crit J and BG Man. But still, losing a player as prominent as I9 early could be bad.
Yeah, well, that's I think the beautiful part of what Fury really brought on. So even if they are losing players like I9 on Thermite, they still have plenty of operators that can bring the hard breaching utility. So it's not as much of an impactful sort of loss. Whilst it's still, look, you would ideally want the extra gun into the fight. I don't think it will be sort of a day and light difference, especially with Serlotic being traded out for it. So, stands. Hello, that's an interesting catch.
Yeah, hello and goodbye. Labyrinth says, finding 2 kills on this roam. He has devastated Fury now. Might be able to claw it back though if BG Man's able to find a couple more of those. Zoshav, a bit ill-advised there, throwing his life away. Champion, you can see the rest of their players all retreating back to site. The Vigil, the Solus, and the Goyo just going to hold on to the basement here. Icolas, bit of a pickle. Vulcan Canister is going to shut him out. There's still a lot of time left to work with in the 2v3.
Fury still have somehow the ability to really find those openings. The Candela charge is not going to be helping a whole lot, but a sandwich play could actually still work out here, even though Lycola's taking the initial damage.
There's a chance here for BG Man to open up the round for Fury and get the Thai team back into it. Roldini takes a bit of damage. Former player on the Fury roster, of course, and now he's got to hold off his former captain, Lycolis, making his way in. BG Man's found a massive entry And now it's just Firelord for the defense as Fury has overridden the site and looking for a chance to plant. Lycolis to force it down. BG Man low HP to cover. Firelord certainly has a chance, but BG Man locks it in. What a great 2 versus 4 there for Fury to kick off this map.
Exactly that. Phenomenal pacing really there by Fury, even after suffering such substantial losses in the mid game as well. But yeah, that play between Lycolis and BG Man has been absolutely clinical, and there's slight blame there really on the way how the hold for the defense has been set up, the way how they had the angles covered, only allowed a fraction of the information to be gained, and well, no real cutoffs off either one of the entries meant that basically free real estate has been granted to Fury on that first round, whereas for Champion, look back to the drawing board, but at least it's good to see that they are not getting stuck on the very same side. They want to continue rotating those sides, want to make sure that they are keeping things fresh, and that is something that has been sort of highlighted, at least by myself, on a few occasions for Champion, is at least they don't really get stuck too heavy, but remembering Chalet, look, the only thing that comes to mind is pain.
Yeah. What do you think of this Champion roster, Cthulhu? Because you've been following Operation League in Southeast Asia for quite some time. I'm a bit more familiar with Fury myself. Champion is a bit of a dark horse to me. I recognize names like Roldini, who back in the day played on Fury.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't know what to expect. Like, I don't know whether this is a team that should be taking the fight to Fury.
Well, that's the funny thing. So you compare Champion to what they were before they lost Cridge as well. They were a roster that would absolutely contest Fury in every possibility possible, but then they, well, lost Cridge, got Zoshav, got Roldini, and exactly what just happened to Firelord has been following them across multiple games, really. So whilst on paper, Roldini's addition to Champion roster should have been, you know, one of the best choices that they could have made, unfortunately for them, it all fell apart. You still have the good core in terms of Firelord, Labyrinth, and Celotic, and they all very able players, by all means, and by all accounts. But unfortunately, the fact that it still ends up being not really supplemented enough by the 2 new introductions of Roldini and Zoshav, things been certainly feeling a little bit rough for them.
Reloading.
Well, there's a chance here to try and fight back and keep that win in their tally over Fury. We bested them last time. Let's see if they can do the same here. Labyrinth trying an impact trick here as the Selmas try to go out, but he's feeling some heat from down below inside of stock. The nades vertically come through. Zoshav,
Okay.
how on earth has he managed to make that one happen? Massive flank there. He finds a 2K with the MPX. Fury might have found the opening pick, but now they're on the back foot.
Huge 2 openings as well, mind you. That's 2 of the operators with the frag grenades, both of them unable to fully use up that utility. Plus for Dark, I mean, that's the Gemini replicators out of the equation too. So Zoshav actually, just as I started roasting him, he ended up just pulling off some absolute maddening amount of play. So that is great to see. Minute remaining, I mean, Champion could really wrap this up very nicely in their favor to make it a 1-1.
Still, Fury will continue to look for these picks. Cthulhu, we saw it last round. It was, what, a 2v4? They were able to pull off.
Right.
Yeah, and Lycolis and BG Man are still alive. They clutched it up last round. They've got I9, who's managed to get a nice big breach here onto that main jacuzzi wall, and BG Man has made his way forward. There's a shield, though, for him to deal with, and that's going to be very awkward. He does find the kill onto Labyrinth, though. Now, I9's gone down, but it's the clutch duo themselves, Lycolis and BG Man, with 20 seconds left. Celotic, though, is in a perfect position, fully aware of where both of these players are, and he's waiting patiently as the flashes come through. He actually does get caught by them, but Lycolis doesn't check his corners. BG Man has found another kill, but he is put to rest eventually by Champion. A great setup on the site. While it did get close, they did not forfeit the man advantage.
Very nicely done. The one thing as well worth mentioning for Champion is that ever since they did lose a couple of their big players as part of their core roster back from the 2022 rather, Operation League, they really need to try to maybe dial down, especially against Fury. They right now really are struggling to even take some of the gunfights. And I mean, the best example was that Lucy placement by Champion, where I believe it was Labyrinth who just struggled to find the comfortable zone to really play off the back of, and ended up getting punished both from that window and from the entry from Con. So playing even just as simple as it sounds, playing for time would be the ideal scenario. On top of it all as well, for Fury, they really need to make sure that they are utilizing their drones in full, because with Solus, well, already second round in a row not actually being present, this could be a perfect opportunity for them to really double down on cleaning up their droning act.
I think that Solus can be really great for is finding out where that plant's going down.
True.
Particularly on a site like this, right? We're going to bar. I'm pretty sure it is bar, right? I was about to say bar stock, but there's no stock anymore in the bomb site. It's just bar, and bar, or bar stage, I guess it's technically. And the thing is, this bomb site definitely potential for a retake here, but you need that information. So we don't have the Solus. We do, however, have the Evil Eyes from Roldini, the Maestro. No bulletproof cameras, though. So I'm a little bit concerned. If Fury does their due diligence here, Cthulhu, I think it'll be very difficult for Champion to retake.
See if Champion will even be able to or rather, how long will they be able to hold on to this position? Post-breach play seems to be the idea here, and Solodic is using quite excellently his Kibo barriers to just prevent the stray bullets to fly his way. He needs to make sure that he stays alive for as long as he can. With the Ash charges coming around, things will get very problematic, but that hole about to get actually obliterated, and yeah, that's a GM. That's a certified GM.
It is. Honestly, I'm amazed that Solodic was able to stay alive for as long as he did. Very unusual to not reinforce that wall that the Ash eventually opened. So good creative use there of Crit J's gadget to flush out that position. And I9, meanwhile, has snuck his way into a very peculiar spot. He's just underneath the side hatch, and he's taken out Labyrinth. You can see the defender, I think it was Zoshav on the main stairs, was a bit scared by that one. Saw his teammate fall and suddenly thinking, oh crap, is there someone on site? BG Man's found one as well, so Cthulhu, this has fallen to pieces. He's gone for a double. This guy, 2 rounds in, has nearly hit 10 kills. BG Man having the game of his life so far, and Zoshav is going to have the clutch of his to give Champion any chance of taking back the lead here. Fury are not looking to go too quickly. Okay, well, there you go. They'll just finish it. They didn't want to forfeit the advantage, but I9 eventually is able to close it. A very convincing round, the most convincing we've had so far.
Almost confusing that really Champion didn't have any sort of control over the bottom floor, any sort of information gathering utility. Like you highlighted as well, no bulletproof cameras either, meant that a very limited information has been actually really provided for the defense. And so from there on, really, it all kind of just ended up crumbling apart. On top of the fact that Bar itself is a very unconventional site to really play, especially in the competitive play. Certainly, for Champion, not the brightest situation. So back down to the downstairs hall, they did falter, rather unfortunately, in the first round, whilst attempting to hold this. But the way how I'm looking at this right now, so you're introducing the Vigil, right? You got the Solus on top of this, so surely that's your roaming duo that will and should be an absolute menace. Last time we did see, Labyrinth did manage to actually play his role almost perfectly with the shotgun whilst roaming around the cache/con. I'm not as too sure about Farlord, because with him being continuously shut down, he needs to be that driving force if Champion wants to find themselves a win. If it's just Sir Loric and, let's say, Labyrinth, it's all falling apart. We still have 2 players currently on Champion roster that is sitting on a donut, and that is not really promising a whole lot of success, really.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was on the desk. I think it might have been Crow, was mentioning Farlord, saying this guy has big potential, but we've seen him also struggle a little bit in some dire moments. Unfortunately, it has been one of those times so far. He's been struggling to have an impact on a player where he's not bringing a lot of team utility, right? He's just playing the Vigil to try and support his own roam. he really needs to find kills or at least delay time and slow down this Fury push. Instead, as you said, Donut. So let's see if Fury can clear him out or whether he might finally find some footing here on this roam. There does seem to be quite a substantial roam from Champion. It's Labyrinth upstairs inside a cache. Bit of aggressive play on all of the staircases, and of course Firelord, who's currently in bar.
Yeah, Firelord in bar should be a very curious play, because the moment he gets drawn down or that the KB call comes around, that's basically GG. I say that though, still a double as the opener for Champion. Surely this is their ground to really play off, as long as Firelord doesn't overexpose himself, because I believe Critch actually just spotted him on that rotation. So he's active and known at large. A simple frag grenade should be able to get rid of the pesky roamer, but oddly enough, Dark actually decides to opt out of this. So, look, 3v4, I wouldn't count out Champion just yet, but Critch, either Critch or Dark need to fall for that success to happen.
Oh, and Firelord does take down Critch, as you said it. He was doomed to fall. Fury now just 2 players left. They're looking to try and cut off Firelord in his retreat, but he doesn't seem to be showing any intent of retreating. Lycolis and Dark to try and clutch up. Could it be another 2v4? I just don't think so. Firelord holding the angle. Come around the corner. He spots 2. Finds the first and the second. A huge round from Firelord. Cthulhu, we said he needed to have an impact. I think you might have been listening, because he delivers.
Oh, delivers in full, honestly, Dev. That was quite a turnout, really, because after seeing him go absolutely quiet for the first 3 rounds, it definitely was instilling quite a lot of concern, really, about Champion's possibilities here. But it is quite curious to see that on the 2-2 scoreline, it is Champion that are actually calling a fairly early timeout, all things considered, but it is a necessary one, because following sort of all of the dynamics so far, yeah, we'll look at on the side of Fury, BG Man is the one leading the charge here, and then the next closest to him is on 2 kills. And so the main answer to this as to why BG Man has received so many frags is partially because he was, quote-unquote, well, fed, really. A number of those gunfights shouldn't have gone his way, and because Champion players decided to swing in one shape or the other, it ended up being their demise. So right now, that's a good time to reset, sort of analyze, or rather think about the round as to what went right, what went wrong, and from there on, just make a play off the back of that, really. And I think Champion might be on something, or rather onto something.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Firelord keeps landing shots like that, maybe he's on something. I won't question it. For Champion, for me, the main distinction is the fact that there are some rounds where they're, as you said the term feeding, right? I think it was the first round, right? 4v2 for Champion, and we've still got guys like peeking up blue stairs. Totally unnecessary. We like the aggression from Champion, but it has to be at the right time, at the right moment. I think the last round's a great example of that. Firelord continuing to roam, continuing to play his life on the roam. He knew he was going to eventually get, taken out, but he tried to hold on for as long as he could. I think that's the right play. But when Champion have an advantage, they need to dial it back. They need to stop over-aggressing and giving the opposition a chance to get back into it. And I think if they can muster those 2 things, get aggressive when they need to be, but not aggressive, dial it back when they don't need to be, I think they could really be onto something here.
Absolutely so. Look, yeah, Champion just need to identify which teams they are comfortable to swing against, and, well, which teams they need to be a bit more sort of dialed down, a little bit more paced down as well, really. Because remembering they have had a few quite stellar performances previously, and, well, this one so far has been a bit of a coin toss, not going to lie, so look, maybe in a later stage we should be able to come out with a bit more conclusive response. It is, though, quite curious to me, remembering the pacing of the Operation League. Well, oh, no. Followed.
Someone please tell me what I'm watching. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, Cthulhu.
Yeah, no, go on, but yeah,
he throws the nade, throws the impact to try and get the Selma. It bounces off somehow and hits him in the face, and then he just peeks and gets a kill anyway. Now Labyrinth has peeked the same breach and found a kill of their own. Champion is just peeking the most ridiculous things. The critical part now is Labyrinth has just got to get away with the advantage. You got a 3v5, now a 2v5 for Fury. Don't feed, and this should be a free round.
Exactly that. A Champion, look, believing in the power of the most ridiculous plays possible, it seems, and just going for the most outrageous ones, the least expected ones as well, which seem to have been carrying quite some weight to it as well. Seems to be actually making it work, but right as I was before introduced by bouncing impact and this absolutely stellar headshot by Labyrinth, I wanted to highlight an interesting pattern between the games of Fury and Champion, where they have had the potential to go either full send or wrapped up in a very rapid manner. We're talking they jump between 7-8s and 2-7s as well.
Yeah. Goes to show that this team sometimes really has their moment, sometimes really doesn't. Yeah, I mean, at this point, just make him wait, right? Don't give him the satisfaction. I9's now busted up to a positive KD. It's so unlikely he wins this 1 versus 3. But, you know, if you keep giving him the chance, we all know I9. This guy is capable.
Oh, he is absolutely capable right now. And, yeah, look, I mean, if they continue swinging like that, well, minus his retinas being completely burnt out there, yeah, look, that could have gone wrong. That could have gone sideways there.
Oh no, he ran out of bullets. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, a good round for Champion. Yeah, a good round for Champion nonetheless, right? It might have been a little bit of an overfeed at the end, but I think that's pretty normal for these guys. Fortunately, they showed a little bit more restraint once they realized that they probably shouldn't make this a winnable position for I9. And on the back of the tactical timeout, Champion have a shot. That's such a funny, like,
that
look at that on the replay. It's so peculiar.
Absolutely. A strange turnout there. But remembering in general the impact grenades and C4s having occasionally a very strange sort of collision in general, I'd be surprised if that will be rather the case here. Regardless though, Champion now being in the lead now starts to sort of build up on the possibility of them still also coming out here with a rather positive scoreline. If they do make it a 4-2, I genuinely would believe that they might just be able to run away with a win here against Fury. Whether it's going to be via the OT or a regular win, I wouldn't be too sure just yet. But look, we've seen them perform. So by all means, I'm keen for that. But the one thing that I do need to note here, Dev, we've seen them a few times. They getting to that 5th, 6th point. They're starting to, you know, get all happy, all giddy about it, starting to celebrate, dance, and then proceed to absolutely miss out and lose all the advantage in the point. So hopefully for them, they learned the lesson to celebrate only when the game is finished, rather than before the game is finished.
I hope so. Because there's a shot here that they could bring it back. I reckon that they could probably win the half 4-2 if they show some restraint. If they don't win this half, I'd be pretty scared for them. They do have the first pick, so Logic taking down Dark. That's 2 nades down. Dark's having a real rough game so far. Fortunately for Champion, elsewhere, I think they've lost a kill. Ooh, I9 actually did see his foot for a second. He really doesn't want to overexpose and then lose the exothermic charges. Oh, there you go. There is actually an attempt at a revive. Labyrinth bests I9, gets his teammate back up. And there you go. Another position. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know. I would love to be able to do that myself. But Champion have something else. Let's see if they can close it out from here, though. 5v3 with Farlord low HP.
I mean, they still have the full control over the catwalk as well, so it absolutely could still work out, I reckon. I'm curious how will Lycos be able to play his position with the shield, seeing as Crit J is now basically 1 tap away from death. But without Farlord, well, that's the Scorpion gone, that's the Roamer out of the equation, but you still have players like Labyrinth that seeming to be on quite a bit of a heater of a performance, so maybe that's still an opportunity for Champion to really wrap it all up. Oh, okay.
Don't mind this by Fury. Monty can be great here. And I like the idea of using the Capitao as well, but yeah, It's just so awkward when it's the Azami you're going up against. What's more, I'm pretty sure they didn't quite catch it, but I'm pretty sure they've got the Azami barrier on the stairs as well, which means the Monty can't... Can we have a look at the staircase? Oh, they actually haven't put that one down, so the Monty is going to be able to walk up the stairs without unshielding.
That still was quite a lot of time drain, though.
Yeah, I mean, they also still have a 4v3 and Crit J 1 HP, so we'll see how that pans out for him.
A lot of time is being drained right now here by Champion, and courtesy of Celotic, he's doing absolute god's work there, really, being able to just keep on using those Cuba barriers. He still has 2 impacts as well to possibly damage Lycolis too, so that is great. Crit J just absolutely waffles his shot, which is quite unfortunate there. And now we are basically locked into what possibly could be a Champion win as long as they don't overextend. They just need to play time. 15 seconds is all that they need to win with.
There's just no way that Fury win it from here.
Wow.
But there is one player down, and Lycolis has cleared rafters. Is there a chance at a plant, or are they going to have to go for kills? The sprays come out, and it will clean up the rest of Fury. Champion do not forfeit their advantage, and they can close the half with a 4-2 scoreline.
Oh, okay. All right, we slowly getting there. Slowly going through the matchup itself. Once again, well, Champion are off to a good start here. They now get to be on the attack, though, which could prove to be a little bit more problematic for them, seeing as Fury were quite comfortable on a few occasions on the defensive side, more so than the attack. And that has been sort of highlighted plentiful amount of times in the previous matchups too. So I reckon this might actually have the possibility of being sort of a 4-2 half swap here, even between Fury and Champion, I reckon.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you look at South Asia on Clubhouse, the map is actually not too defender-sided. It's 53%, and that's out of 4 times played. If you look holistically across the entire Blast Rainbow Six program, every region, 59% defense. So that would, that translates to a 4-2 half on the defense in a pretty even game. So I'd say this is actually pretty damn good for Champion. But I am pretty worried about their attacks. I feel like Fury should be able to punish these attacks with all the great, impactful defenders left available. I'm mainly thinking about the Azami here, which Dark is playing here on Rafters. Thing is, Dark's been having a real rough game so far. I hate to pile on, but you need your Azami on a player that is going to deliver the goods and be a real pain to clear. So I really hope Dark finds his foot now, that he's on that defensive side, he's playing these powerful positions, and it looks like the first pick is actually going to be one for Fury. Crit J taking down Ibana, and with that, a lot of Fury players are retreating back to site.
That's the interesting part as well. We look at the general sort of statistic for Fury players. Yeah, Dark is having a bit of a rough run. Lycola's been having a rough one. Crit J up until just now before, well, technically still having a bit of a rough run KD-wise. It's only I9 and BG Man are getting sort of close-ish to the point of a good run. Well, BG Man, namely.
It's literally just BG Man, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. But I'm more so just trying to be optimistic about even I9's KD here. But then you look at Champions, somewhat of a similar turnout, albeit you have Zoshav on a positive KD, you got Farlord still on a 1 KD, Labyrinth been feeling nice. So, look, I guess what I'm trying to say here is Fury will need to really get themselves, pull themselves out of the mental gutter, really, to get the ball rolling. Because with Champion, I mean, knowing how Farlord can sometimes get absolutely freaky on the Nook, there could be some damage done here by Champion.
Yeah, I am a little concerned here for Champion in this specific round because they've lost that Ibana. And the Buck didn't bring those tin can openers, those hard breach charges, so it's literally just the Thermite now, who's, by the way, used all of his charges, so no more hard breach here for Champion. They're going to have to funnel.
Oh, hello.
But have a look at this from Farlord. Wow, he gets taken down very low. That may be a costly mistake. A bit of patience. Oh, but he finds Dark anyway. This guy constantly gets away with things that he probably shouldn't. Finally, Lycolis does get him back, but with Labyrinth on for the retake here of Blue, it might be a chance that Champion could still salvage it.
Dini needs to make this work, though. In tandem with Labyrinth here. He needs to pick up a frag here. So is Labyrinth. Bit of a struggle street there, but still picks it up. 2v2, but the health disparity is too heavy here.
Oh, Roldini, surely he's got an opening, though. And now it's just Critche. He has a C4 in pocket, but his way is barred thanks to the fire. He might have snuck through, though. The planter is surely exposed. He takes him down, but he doesn't have a clue where Labyrinth stands. Still at dummies and waiting for him to push on through. What a play there from Labyrinth. A massive round coming and retaking blue after his teammate was dead. Champion steal an attack that they really shouldn't have done.
Yeah, look, there's still a few question marks really from me in terms of how they played it out, but at least kudos to Roldini to be able to finally get on board as well with a point. Followed, yeah, look, I'm still about as lost for words as to how he was able to pick up that second one after being tagged so low before. And even in Labyrinth's case here, he could have used the very same rotation position where Farlord died from to hold the angle onto that doorway to even prevent the Goyo to actually make his way towards the thermite of Roldini. But regardless, 5-2. Dev, we've already seen previously scorelines of 2-7, even 7-3, but the latter was in favor of Fury. But regardless, we've seen fairly quick conclusions courtesy of Champion here. So maybe we could see some.
I'm starting to slowly get convinced here Cthulhu for Champion. A round like that is really big, really decisive for me. Really does flip the switch. Fury can't afford to lose any more rounds here. They need to lock in a regulation win. I mean, an overtime is still something, but as soon as you start leaking points, your chances of making it into the top 3 and therefore the last chance qualifier, well, that does slip quite a bit. Fury is currently 3 points behind Devil Dog, who will be playing again later today. Fury need to maximize as many points as possible, and to do that, they need 5 rounds in a row.
Rough gig that they need to push this much. Very much of a tall order, no matter what kind of team we're talking, apart from maybe Bleed. Bleed would probably make it look like just child's play, really.
Bleed are in their own league.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm still, though, looking forward to seeing how will they play tonight later on. But for the time being, look, can we just highlight real quick? Labyrinth 10-3 right now.
Insane.
Absolute on a heater, whereas BG Man has been silent ever since we swapped sides.
That's a very good point. I think BG Man was 9-1 after the 3rd round, and now he's 9-5. Hasn't found a kill since. And have a look at this from Farlord with the Gemini up to support him, and no one on that main stairs camera. He might actually have an in straight onto that bomb site. Just hold your breath, Fury. Champion is so close, but they do bait him. Well done, honestly, by Fury. They pretended that they had no idea and baited him into moving on forward, but in fact they did know, did take him down. Let's see if Labyrinth, 10-3, can do any better.
Problem being is that those kind of runouts still are happening at large from Fury, so the further we do move on into the rounds, the less it seems there is of the respect from Fury towards their opponents, and they really not just letting them hold on to the positions for too long, but wow, how does he land? That is beyond me.
Might be the opening that Champion need. 3v2. Man advantage on their side, but BG Man has finally turned up. The trade comes through and it's up to Dark. The 1v2 spots out Labyrinth. That's the key fragger down, but Solotic is here to reply. And with it, Champion take map point here against Fury. I can't believe it. The scoreline, it's 6-2.
There it is, Dev. That's what I told you. Remember how I mentioned to you off stream as well, that Champion are a menace. They like, we still have, you know, the wondrous names like Elevate, like Fury, like Direwolves, now Bleed as well. But then you have Champion, the team that last Operation League season, they were just shy of, I think even just, it was basically just down to a round differential that they did make it to the playoffs. And so this once again finally starts to come out. But the problem with Champion just in general is the inconsistencies in their performances. You look back at the Chalet, absolute clown fiesta. You look at now the clubhouse from them, they're actually, you know, pulling it off, doing their due diligence, especially in the latter rounds rather than the earlier ones. And it is now actually looking like, at least for me, like the champion that I've grown accustomed to.
Yeah. That's very exciting, the prospect of this.
Mm.
A dominant win over Fury, long-time rivals. We said the head-to-head history between these two teams, it's very, very close. In fact, in the last year, it's 3-3, tied up. So this would, in a way, tip the scales over to champion's side. It's insane to think about it. When we think of the great Thai teams, we think of teams like Fury, like the old Elevate roster, not the current one. Much more mixed bag. But Champion have really been putting their hands up and saying, hey, don't forget about us.
Yeah, no, Champion definitely... I will be very patiently awaiting for some more of their play runs, really, because they are an unexpectedly powerful force. And I mean, when Firelord just does things like that with the suppressed G8, like, this is already promising a lot of it.
Yeah, now he's got the SMG-11 out. The G8 low on ammo, no need to reload. Couple pre-fires. He knows there's a player nearby. They're not looking to over-peek, and BG Man finds him. It's really been the battle of these two big guys on Fury and Champion. BG Man and Firelord have been some of the big hitters. BG Man fortunately able to bring the balance back into Fury's favor. 4 players on each side still living, but a lot of hard breach still available for Champion.
That, plus you look at the health pool for BG Man for I9, tagged more so BG Man than I9, but still, the next gunfight could be very much lethal for the Mute player, and BG Man being one of the top performers for Fury in this matchup, with him going down, that could basically spell demise for Fury, given that they are on match point. No more rounds can be allowed to really slip through their hands. So this right now is the ultimate sort of sudden death run right now for Fury, where they need to make sure that they're nailing their performances, where they need to nail their ones. Crit needs to pop off like he used to back on the champion roster, but with Celotic knowing he has a hunch there, surely that's another opening kill for champion.
Oh, Celotic is just in position to do it. The pre-fire, he's got to land it. He does. BG Man revealed his position just a little bit too early, but Critjay is on for the trade.
There it is.
Now Roldini's got to clutch a 1v3. I just don't see this happening, Cthulhu. 2 smokes in pocket, but he doesn't have much map control. Critjay's upstairs still. He spots out the shield. Position revealed. He has a clue about I9's position. This is very winnable now for Roldini, as he looks to try and take down the second player on the shield. It's the smoke, it's Lycolis. He's made his way into sight now. Critjay's got to get back just in time. As the smokes come through, Roldini must force down this diffuser. There's no way he makes this work. It's a 1v1. And Critjay coming back from the roam has got to make this one count. He's playing in short right now, and he's playing it quietly. Pushing up, Roldini should be able to confirm this diffuser, but he gets baited off. Perfectly played by Critjay, and he can deliver the kill as well. Fury kept alive in a round that really should have been theirs, thanks to some heroics from Critjay.
Suppose there's the response to my question. There's the Critjay from the champion era. Look, that man, back in the day, back in the champion era, he was that big highlight player. On top of the already phenomenal core that was Labyrinth, Firelord, and Celotic, Critjay was the one that, say, one of those 3 players underperformed, he will be the one to solely put it on his back and push champion to some of the round, or rather game-winning moments. So this is now showing why that pickup was made by Fury, why they needed to make that play, and well, now they just need to repeat the same case 3 more times to just push this to OT.
I don't know, it's very scary. I don't think that Fury's going to be able to do that again and again and again. The fact that Champion got it as close as it was last round, that really should have been an open and shut case. Roldini shouldn't have been able to find 1 kill, let alone 2, and almost secure a plan. Shouldn't need something like that from Critjay. It shouldn't have to be a big ask and a big clutch. for Fury to be winning these rounds. So I'm terrified on their behalf, Cthulhu. I think Champion have really become Fury's match here, and I don't know if Fury are going to be able to ride it out for another 3 rounds.
See, that's the funny bit here, Dev. Now that we're starting to see Fury actually, you know, pull apart Champion's attack bit by bit, I'm starting to actually get a bit of a concern. Remembering their, what was that matchup that I was completely like looking at it. It was, how was this all done? Oh yes, their game against Elevate. Champion had a phenomenal lead against Elevate, and then they proceeded to lose. I believe it was something similar of 4 or 5 rounds in a row. After they, you know, were starting to celebrate, starting to get all happy, all giddy about it. This feels eerily the same here right now, Dev, and it's only a 3-round differential right now between the two teams.
Well, Champion have Bar and Stage. I always forget. Bar and Stage set before them on this round to try and close out the map. Now, we haven't seen this from Fury as of yet. It was Champion themselves who played this bomb site and were unable to defend it successfully. It was only one of 2 attack rounds that Fury was able to win. So I can't help but feel very much excited for Champion here at the prospect of this. They've also found the opener, and Crit J is taking a lot of damage here, holding down to the stock position. Finally claims Farlord's head. Another kill for him as well. Damage elsewhere. Champion have sprung into action. They're looking to hunt him down. It's just him and I9 left, and, well, a 1v1 for I9 down below on the Echo. Solodic taken down, but not out yet. He's actually... Oh, so they know that he's in the Frost mat. And I9 wants to try and confirm the kill, but he doesn't have the vert. And so it will be a 2v1 here for Champion. A minute for I9 to try and burn in this clutch.
So much time to really play off. The IQ being in play here is also going to be absolutely huge right now. So Lodic will be able to get rid of the Echo drones, of all the information gathering utility. I9 needs to just play his position. He has the element of surprise here right now, and the drones will need to confirm that. Found at large, and
no way.
1v1. This is actually starting to look good, but there's the closure. Finally, Champion return.
In the tale of the 2 Thai teams, there can be only one champion. 3 points on the docket might not make them contenders for top 3, but it is a sweet revenge against their domestic rivals, and you can see it in their faces. They are ecstatic about that win. A 7-2 to boot. A massive victory for these guys.